What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Sam here to break down the NBA DraftKings slate on Tuesday, September 1st. We got a big day of two NBA games. Game 2, the Toronto-Boston series. See if Toronto can even that up. And then Game 7 of the Nuggets and Jazz, which has been by far the best series in round 1. Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell have just been going absolutely nuts. We'll talk about what to do with those guys in this video. Really excited to watch these NBA games today. But before I get into all the players, if you're new to the channel, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notification bell, leave a comment. All those things really help me out. We've had a lot of growth throughout NASCAR and NBA season. My NBA seasons, the playoffs are going strong, and we're going to continue to make videos for them and content for them. NFL starts in like a week and a half, really, for Thursday Night Football. We'll kick that off, but be making videos all week for NFL. Got a lot of content coming out for that, as well as NCAA football, which also starts next Saturday. Really, is when the first big day of college football is. So be on the lookout for all that content. If you want to subscribe to more of my content, you can subscribe to my Patreon, which I'll put in the description below. For $10 a month for NBA, you're going to get a spreadsheet with all the stats you need to know, along with projections for DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, SuperDraft, and Fantasy Draft. You're also going to get a daily article along with salary tier rankings, injury notes, and a cash score. So be sure to come check that out. If you want to follow me on social media, my Twitter's at DFSNateLane and my Instagram's at @NateLane_, and I'll put those in the description as well. All right, Jaylen Brown, $7,300. Boston Celtics playing the Toronto Raptors. We saw Jaylen Brown having a pretty good game the last time we played, but they blew him out and he ended up not having to do much. But I'll come back to Jaylen Brown here at $7,300. I haven't projected for more minutes than he played last time. I expect this game to be closer. Toronto shot the ball awful. I don't expect that to happen again. So I think this game will be a lot closer than it was last time, and Jaylen Brown will probably play around 39 minutes today. So at that price tag with that amount of minutes, 1.01 point per minute player, yeah, I absolutely love to get there. I think Jaylen Brown is a great option on today's slate again. I don't think he's going to get a ton of ownership. People are going to be high owned because it's a 2-game slate, but I don't think Brown's going to be like one of the more higher ones, honestly. Up next, I'll go to Marcus Smart, who was a really good value last time we played, the last game. But now he's priced up to $6,000. I don't really know if I really want to get there. It's just $6,000 for Marcus Smart. It's just a lot. He's really not a productive player. If you look in the starting lineup, he's pretty much the least productive out of the starters. So he's not necessarily someone that I really want to get to on the slate, especially when he is playing with the stars. He doesn't have as high of a usage rate. He just was hitting threes last game. So unless he stays that efficient, he'll be a great play then if he's efficient. But at that price tag at $6,000, not really where I want to go on today's slate. But he is going to play a lot of minutes, and that is something that maybe can't be said for other guys. Like, the minutes are guaranteed. At that price range, they are guaranteed for Marcus Smart. Jason Tatum at 9,200 played terrible in the first game against Toronto, but I don't expect that to continue. I think he'll have a bounce-back spot today. He's $9,200. He's going to play a ton of minutes. He's the highest usage player on the team. He's the best player on the team. They just got lucky Toronto shot the ball because Boston really didn't play great. They had a good game. Kemba played really well, but outside of that, they didn't play so amazing. Toronto just played awful. So Jason Tatum's going to need to step up his game. I expect him to play about 37 to 40 minutes today. I have him for 39 right now. He's a really high usage guy. He needs to just score the ball. He'll shoot it a ton. You saw he was not making shots and he was still firing them up. So he'll continue to do that. If he's hitting them, he's going to be really, really good. And if he gets into that zone, it's over for everybody. Daniel Tice, $5,200. He was a chalk play last slate at $900 cheaper than this, and he really paid off for that one for his price tag that day. I have him for 27 minutes today. I think he's a solid option. $5,200. That's where Daniel Tice probably should be priced. He shouldn't be priced pretty much more, but he also shouldn't be priced where he was last game. So he's a fine option. Not like a core guy I really want to play today, but he grades out solid. It's a tough matchup against Toronto. The bigs, they're really good against the bigs. They have been all year. Although we did see Tice have a really good game, but it is a tough matchup against Marcus Gasol, Serge Ibaka. So that is rough for him, but I think Tice should be okay. He still is a solid option. Kemba Walker's price finally starting to rise, $7,600. He went off the last game, was the best player on the team for Boston, but I still think Tatum's the guy in Boston, but he is $7,600, 1.15 point per minute player. He's a high usage guy. I didn't mention Gordon Hayward being out. Jason Tatum and Kemba Walker both get nice usage bumps and assist rate bumps here. I can go show you that as well. With Hayward off the floor, Tatum goes from a 28.5 usage rate to a 31.8, and Kemba Walker goes from a 27.5 to a 29. Tatum gets a 1% assist rate bump. Kemba gets a 2% assist rate bump. So Yeah, they both get nice bumps without Hayward on the floor. I mean, Hayward hasn't been there for a little bit now, but just thought it'd be something I'd mention here. They do great out, solid plays. Brad Wanamaker could be a value. I just hate going to Brad Wanamaker because he's just always so unproductive, especially when he's in the starting lineup. But off the bench, $3,500. I have him for 22 minutes today. I could see him getting a little bit more. I could also not be surprised just see them run the starters more into like the 40s and Wanamaker not really play a ton. So he's a little bit riskier in my opinion, but at $3,500 he can't really hurt you that much unless he just gets like 2 points. But he's an okay option. If you want to go stars and scrubs today, which you don't really need to because there's not a ton of highs. There's not a guy over 10,000 today. He's someone you can go to, but probably not a core guy for me today. Next, we'll get to the Utah Jazz. Game 7, big game for Utah. They've dropped 2 in a row now to Denver. I think Denver's got this, honestly. They're looking really, really good. I mean, they're playing better the last 2 games. They are the better team. Like, they are the better team coming into the series. They just sucked the first few games. So, they picked it up. But, oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is the Nuggets. This isn't Utah. They're playing Utah. Okay, let's say that again. Denver Nuggets, I think they got this. I mean, they look like the best team. Yeah, they've been playing really well as of late. And I was just, you know what, we're going to start with Jamal Murray. He's been playing like 43 minutes a game. I mean, this guy's playing out of his mind. He's playing like a freaking superstar out of nowhere. I mean, I've always been a huge Jamal Murray guy. I mean, I have his jersey over there in the corner. But like I always knew he was a really good player. I always had him as a top 10 point guard and stuff. But like, man, this is just insane what he's been doing. Putting up 50-point games. I mean, oh my goodness. And I'm going to go back to it. I mean, like, he's $9,700, which if you had told me Jamal Murray's going to be $9,700, I would have said, no way. But, I mean, he's just shooting. He's playing so confidently. He's doing everything for his team. He's shooting the ball so well that I just can't say to not go to him on a 2-game slate. Like, yeah, Jokic obviously is projected as a better value. He's a higher point per minute guy. He's a higher usage guy. He's higher everything. He's been a better player all year. But, God, Murray's been playing so good. And I just want to continue to go to him. I think he's just someone that, I mean, I'm going to say the same thing about Donovan Mitchell. I just think you got to play these guys today. And honestly, they may not get too much ownership because people are going to look at their price tag and say, I don't want to play him for that much. But, man, they've been going absolutely off. So, yeah, I want to continue to attack Jamal Murray today. If he comes back down to earth, he comes back down to earth. But that's a risk I'm willing to take today. I just think that his ceiling is so much higher than really everyone else's on today's slate. I think there's 3 guys with just these massive ceilings: Murray, Mitchell, and Jason Tatum. I think all of them could go absolutely off. Jokic just hasn't been showing it, so I'm not really going to put him in that category. Although, yeah, if he comes out and has a 20, 20, and 15 game, I don't think I'd be that surprised. But I don't. That's not. I feel like Murray, Mitchell, and Tatum at this point have more realistic ceilings because in the playoffs you need the guys to score the ball to take over the games, and that's what those guys do. They're scoring players. So, yeah, Torrey Craig, $3,600 projects as a nice value. I have him for 21 minutes right now. I mean, there's just not a lot of value on this slate. I don't think you necessarily need to go there if you're making one lineups. But if you're playing a ton of lineups, I think Torrey Craig's someone to get in there. If he's having a good game, he'll be closing out for Denver. So I think he's a solid option. Jeremy Grant's price finally starting to rise to $5,100. I have him for 35 minutes today. He's been inserted into the starting lineup. I think he's a solid option. Again, not someone I want to base all my lineups around, but someone to sprinkle in there if you're playing a ton of tournament GPP lineups. He'll close the game. He's been a really good piece for Denver the last few games. Just a consistent. He can knock down the threes. He can play his defense really well. So Jeremy Grant's look good. Gary Harris finally returned. I mean, it's been a year for him, I guess. So I mean, he hasn't played in forever. They threw him back in a playoff game 6 for his first game back since the NBA shut down. So that's crazy. But he played 20 minutes. I gave him 21 today. He's just a low point per minute guy. He's not someone I'm really too excited to get to, but he is going to get low ownership. And if Gary Harris can get it going, like he was a starter on this team, he could be someone that ends up being a huge, huge key to them. So, I mean, he's not going to get any ownership today. I really doubt it. So, yeah, I think Gary Harris actually might provide some value and might be someone to go after today just because of what I think his ownership's going to be. I don't think he's better played than some of these other guys, but I think that the upside is there because I can see him getting more minutes just because he is Gary Harris. He was a very important part of this team before the shutdown. He was a starter, so great 3-and-D player. Nikola Jokic, $9,500. I mean, we all know what Nikola Jokic brings to the table at this point. He just hasn't been, I mean, he's been kind of, I'm not taking a back seat, but Murray's been the front guy for the Nuggets in the series, and Jokic has been the number 2, which is fine. Like, Jokic is still going to put up good numbers. It's just, I don't think the ceiling is as high as it's been. So I'd honestly just rather pay more for Murray, Mitchell, and then a little less for Tatum. Paul Millsap, $4,700. He's just not getting the minutes. Not someone I really want to go to. I mean, we did see him close the game 2 games ago, but for the most part, he just hasn't been getting the minutes necessary that we really need from him at that price tag. So I'm not really looking to Paul Millsap today. Monty Morris, 4,200. That's a value guy we have today. I have him for 25 minutes. He's been getting to start, been getting to closing lineup minutes. So Monty Morris, someone that I do like to go to roster today. Just projects out as a solid value that we need on the slate. Like, that's what I'm saying. You don't need to really go into the 30 to 3,000. You can just get like a Monty Morris, and you'll be okay because there's no guys priced above 10K unless you're trying to roster 3 of those 9K guys, which is possible. But I mean, otherwise, I'd just rather go there. We already talked about Jamal Murray and then Michael Porter Jr. $5,500. Yeah, I mean, I have him for 28 minutes today. Michael Porter Jr. hasn't been getting the run that we thought he was going to be. Well, because, I don't know, because we thought. This makes sense. It makes basketball sense not to have Michael Porter in a lot because, like, closing the games, starting the games, because he is horrible on defense. I mean, he's going to improve. He's a young player. This is his rookie year, really. So that's going to improve. But just right now, you'd rather just play, like, a Jeremy Grant or Paul Millsap just because Michael Porter can't really. They're just switching him onto Donovan Mitchell and he's just cooking him. So, not someone I'm really too excited to get to. If he gets hot, he'll be a great play, but probably not someone I'm overly excited to play today. Next, go to Toronto Raptors. They're going up against Boston Celtics today. They need to win this game, have a bounce-back spot. And honestly, I'm just not interested in any of the Raptors still. Like, I just hate their prices. OG Anunoby, 4,800. It's OG Anunoby. He's just not someone I want to get to. I mean, if I'm playing a ton of lineups today on a GPP, yeah, that's fine, but still. The only guy I think I do like a lot today is Marc Gasol, 4,100. Saw his minutes go up to like 25 last game. I have him for 26 today. $4,100 for Marc Gasol is just too cheap in my opinion, and it's a good matchup against centers with Boston. Like, Daniel Tice isn't really big, and he can't really handle these guys. I mean, Ibaka probably outscores him because he's a higher point per minute guy, but Marc Gasol, if he's out there, he can be in the closing lineup, and I mean, that's a very good option at that point. I mean, he's just too cheap for Marc Gasol. Serge Ibaka, 6,200. I mean, he's just been playing really good. I mean, putting up numbers when he's out there. But 6,200 just feels like a lot for Serge Ibaka. I mean, that's what I said last time for the last game, which I don't even think I talked about Ibaka last time. But he was still too expensive at 6,000. He went off, but I mean, I just don't think it happens again. I don't think this is the guy they need to go off to beat Boston. It needs to be Lowry, it needs to be Siakam, it needs to be Fred VanVleet, it needs to be Gasol. So, Ibaka, I mean, it's okay. Solid option, I think, but not someone I really want to make my core around. Kyle Lowry saw his price drop to 7,700. I think he might be an okay play. I mean, Boston hasn't been great against point guards all year, and he's going to play a ton of minutes, high usage guy. $7,700. We've been seeing Lowry more like 79, 8,000. It's a little bit cheaper than we've been getting him, so I think he is a good option. They need him to play really well if they want to win this series. And I mean, the way Siakam's been playing, I mean, Lowry might be the guy. So Lowry looks like a solid option to me. Norman Powell, 4,900. He had a bad game, but the ceiling is there for Norman Powell. He's always in GPP pools for me because we know that ceiling is there for Norman. He has the upside to totally just break a slate. So I'm always going to throw him in some lineups, but just not someone to make maybe as a core play today. Pascal Siakam, $8,000. I mean, he's just been playing terrible recently, just not been playing good at all. And now he's up to 8,000. I mean, he's okay, I guess. Like, I don't think the Raptors will probably be the lowest owned guys because none of them like really project out as good values. I have for 37 minutes today. He's going to be the highest usage player in the team, highest point per minute player that gets a ton of minutes on the team. So I mean, he's good. He's a good option, but he just hasn't been playing good. And I mean, I don't know if that's really a place I want to go to today. If I'm playing a lot of lineups, yeah, I'll get some Siakam in there, but for the most part, I'd rather just go to other guys priced around him. Like, I'd honestly just rather pay down for VanVleet and Lowry. VanVleet, though, been playing crazy minutes. I mean, the whole bubble will get about 39 to 40 minutes today. And I mean, he's just been shooting lights out. Been shooting the ball really, really well. So I think I want to continue to go with VanVleet today. Someone I definitely want to have some lineups here. He's out there a lot playing good defense. He's making shots. He looked like the best player in the four for Toronto in the game one. Maybe Ibaka. Ibaka and VanVleet looked great. Everyone else just looked horrible. So, yeah, I think Fred VanVleet's an interesting option here. I don't think it's going to get a ton of ownership. I really don't think anyone in Toronto, like relative to the rest of the guys, is going to get ownership today. So maybe Marc Gasol will, but that's about it. I think VanVleet looks like a solid play today. And then we'll close it out to Utah Jazz. Jordan Clarkson, 5,400. Has been playing a ton of minutes. He'll probably get about 30 today. I mean, they just need shot creators outside of Mitchell. and that's what he provides for him. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. If he gets hot, he's an absolute smash play. But it's Jordan Clarkson, so he could also score 5 points, and we wouldn't really be that surprised. But he's a .9 3-point per minute guy. Hopefully he'll knock down some shots for us today, have a good game. They need him to play well if they want to win this game. Big game for Utah. They don't want to blow a 3-1 lead. I mean, man, they were up 3-1, had all momentum, and everyone was like, man, they look really good, and now they're not playing so well. So Clarkson needs to have a good game. So does Mike Conley at 6,800. He'll play about 34 minutes today. He started out the bubble doing pretty well the last few games, hasn't been producing as well. 6,800 feels like a little bit much for this year's version of Mike Conley, but he is going to be out there a ton, has a pretty high usage rate, so he is someone that is interesting to get to. Rudy Gobert is going to play a ton of minutes, 7,900. It's like he's fine because he's a high point per minute guy. It's just this Rudy Gobert, the ceiling isn't really that high. And on a 2-game slate, I guess that's okay. You want to have good floors, but I sort of feel like I'd rather just pay 100 less for Van Fleet, or even just at the center position, just not play an expensive center today. Play a Serge Ibaka or a Marcus Gasol or a Daniel Tice rather than a Gobert and Jokic, and pay up for these guards that are just shooting the ball a hell of a lot more than Rudy Gobert is. So he's fine. He's a high point per minute guy. He's going to get rebounds. He'll probably get some blocks maybe, and he's going to have some putback dunks, and he's going to be at the free throw line a ton, but I don't know. There's just other plays I'd rather play for that price range and at center. So Gobert, he's a decent option. Probably not going to get a ton of ownership, but not someone I'm really building lineups around today. Joe Ingles, 5,300. He's just priced where he should be. He's okay. If he gets hot, then yeah, he's a great play, but I don't expect that happening. And then Donovan Mitchell. You know what? We'll talk about him last. Let's go Royce O'Neal first. $4,500, going to play 38 minutes. Super low, 0.68 point per minute guy. But on a slate where you need value, he seems like a decent option to go to. And he's going to be out there a ton just for defense. So if he starts knocking down some threes, maybe get a few steals and stuff, he'll be a really good option. All right, Donovan Mitchell, the last guy I'm going to talk about today. Dude's just been playing out of his mind. Just like Murray, they've just been going absolutely off. There's been 4 players in NBA history to score 50 points in more than one game in a playoff series, and Mitchell and Murray are both of them in this series. That's crazy. And the other list is Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson. What a list for those two to be on. Incredible. This has been the best series. Been absolutely amazing watching these basketball games. And the crappy part is I want to go to bed about halfway through the games, but, I got to watch this. It's ridiculous. Last night I just went to bed during OKC Houston game. I didn't really care, but this one I can't tonight. This is such a great game. So yeah, Donovan Mitchell, he's just been playing absolutely out of his mind. Had a ridiculous high usage rate, just shooting the ball a ton and making everything. So I just want to continue to go back to these guys. If I'm playing one line today, I want to build around those two. And Mitchell and Murray, and then figure out the rest. I just think their ceilings are just so much higher right now, and they're just playing absolutely out of their minds. And I don't think anyone expects anything less out of these two tonight. So definitely some guys I want to go to today. All right, I think that's really all I got to say on today's NBA slate. I hope you guys enjoyed this video a good bit. Got some good information, some good content, make some good lineups today. Fun day of basketball, excited to watch. Starts at 5:30 today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hopefully I make some money tonight. Have a great day.